That's why the Most High spoke about good stewardship. Good stewardship is because that comes from the Spirit. That the only way you can do what you're supposed to do and move how you're supposed to move is if you got the Spirit operating in you. People feel like if I get a bunch of money, do you know how many people got that PPP loan? Do you know how much money they kicked out in unemployment? Do you know how much money they kicked out with the stimulus? Do you know how many people probably was the first time and then taxes turn around and hit at the same time? Do you know how many people had 20, 30,000, 40, 50, 60,000 dollars for the first time in their life, and now they back check to check, looking for a job, looking for this and looking for that, and finding other and everybody else to blame but they self. Do you know? Do you know? I know. Listen, if the feds came right now and said for every name we give you 2,500, I probably got 100 names right now, and every one of them people is broke. And one of them broke. Money don't change you. Money don't change you. Sometimes majority of the time make people worse. But let me tell you something. When you start to grow and flourish, they try to make you feel like you supposed to give your hard-earned money to the people who don't want to do nothing for themselves. They try to make you feel like your home, your house that you done built or rented or whatever, they feel like this is where we gonna come and stay. They want to make you feel like what is yours, what you have possessed and earned is rightfully on to them. Now, this mine. This here mine. You don't dictate nothing over here. You don't dictate nothing over here. You don't dictate no funds over here. You don't dictate nothing over here. Let's get that understood like the ball. But look, check this out. So a couple of weeks or months or whatever passed, right? I get another call about my brother. I said, you know what? I'm on my way down there. But this time it was going to be force. It was going to be by force, not choice. So I go down here. I find this dude I know, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking for my brother. I can't find him. I find this dude I know. I get him in the car and I ask him, had he seen my brother? He said, yeah, I just seen him. He was over there by stop one. So we drive over and I see my brother. I tell my brother to get in the car. My brother get in the car at the time. I'm not knowing he had been drinking. So I tell him, I said, listen to me, bro. I'm finna take you somewhere. You finna get some help. This is by force. This ain't by choice at this point. You know what I'm saying? He like, nah, bro, I'm straight. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So then I started asking him questions. So while I'm trying to keep calm again, I done got furious to the point where it's hurting my heart because my brother keep acting like this is what he want for the rest of his life. This is what he want to do. This is where he want to be. This is how he want to look. This is bothering me. So I'm trying to talk to him. And at this point, he opens the back door of the truck saying he finna jump out of the car. I said, what? I try to, when I see him open the door, I don't slow down. I start speeding up because I'm thinking in my head, if I speed up, he ain't going to try to jump out of the car. So as I speed up a little bit, my brother jumps out of the moving car. When he jumped out of the moving car, my brain went crazy. I was like, wait a minute, how did he get to this? Like my brother just jumped out of like, wait a minute. And immediately I wanted to get out and put my hands on him because of I'm not even, of course he could be hurt. But at this point, I'm like, man, this dude just jumped out. What in the world? That's what I'm thinking. So I stopped the car and my brother, he done already got up and he trying to walk away. Right? He limping. I tell dude, I get to my mama in a minute. I tell dude, I said, man, get out and get him. He get out and he go catch my brother. I'm sitting in the car trying to gather my thoughts because one thing I done learned about myself, I don't know if anybody over here done learned their patterns or what, you know what I'm saying, stuff that they do. I know my pattern. I know my triggers. I know things that make me start doing stuff that I ain't got no business doing. And this is one of them. So I sit in the car and I had to gather myself and I had to tell myself, you can't do nothing you ain't got no business doing because you're going to go to jail. That always changes. Anything that I'm thinking negative, anytime I tell myself, hold up, you do that, you know you're going to go to jail, right? It's over. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. So look, check this out. So I finally get out of the car. And as I'm walking to him, I get up to him and I start talking. He jumped out of the car because he didn't want me to take him to get him some help. That's why he jumped out of the car. That's why he jumped out of the car. Commercial break me one time for the one time. Somebody asked me where was my mom. I want to answer that real quick before I continue to tell this story. Somebody asked where our mama was at. Sometimes I give my mama the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes I don't. I feel like as a parent, you know what I'm saying, you go all the way to the cross with your child. But I can understand some parents really get tired. They get tired of the heartbreak over and over, just like what I was explaining about myself. They get tired of trying. Listen to me. My mama was a single parent mom. My mom was a single parent mom. My daddy was already doing 2 life sentences. The dude that we knew that kind of raised us and kind of, you know what I'm saying, that we grew up with, he was abusive. Now, he wasn't just abusive though. He was a mixture of both. He was a decent stepdad, but at the same time, he's kind of abusive. You got to keep in mind, my mama's husband, which is my daddy, got locked up, along with her brother. Both of her sons had been locked up. She has seen generation after generation of men go to prison, go to jail, go to juvie. She had been in and out of the courtroom, in and out of the courtroom, in and out of the courtroom. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that she gets to stop being a mom. I'm just trying to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom, my heart, I love her to death. And as a child, and if anybody been on my live before, you know, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to tell the truth. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? Love her to death. But at the same time, I can understand to a certain extent. So at this point, she done kind of just backed up. But I'll say, I hate the fact that not just my mama, it was a lot of family members. Everybody was calling me to do what they could have done in the 6 and a half years I was in the penitentiary waiting to come home. When I come home, though, everybody wanted to drop it on me. I was the one who was responsible to make sure my brother was straight. You know what I'm saying? But my mama, at this point, I'm guessing my mama was just kind of tired of dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? So look, check this out. So I walk up to my brother and I'm like, man, what is you doing, bro? Do you not realize you just jumped out of a moving car? And when I say that, you know what I'm saying? Of course, he responded and said whatever he was saying. So I turn around. And when I turn around, I'm finna walk back to the car because I jumped out of the car instead of backing it up. I'm finna walk back to the car and I'm finna drive the car back and put him in the car. But when I'm getting ready to drive the car back, I had a thought because he kept trying to walk. So when he kept trying to walk, I said, I'm gonna call the police. That was the only thing I'm thinking at the time. I'm thinking, I'm gonna call the police. So I get on my phone. I call the police. They on the phone and I tell them, I said, my brother, and then I seen it was a beer. It was a beer in it. So I'm guessing he a little intoxicated. I tell them, my brother's a little inebriated and he just jumped out of a moving car. And I'm thinking he got some mental problems going on. I said, I need an ambulance to come out here, and I told him where I was at. So the police pull up before the ambulance get there. They didn't even send the ambulance. They just send the regular police out there. So when the regular police get there, they pull out the flashlight, because they see 3 black men out here. They see a car with some flashes on, and immediately I'm thinking they trying to figure out a way to either all of us will send us all to jail. They ain't even concerned about the real issue. They pull up like, what's going on? Like they ready to all this old extra stuff. So immediately, you know what I'm saying, I had a little following on Facebook at the time. This is before all this other social media. Immediately, something tell me you need to turn your live on Facebook. You need to turn your live on Facebook. You need to turn your live on Facebook. So as the police flashing the light, he asking what's going on. I'm explaining to him what's going on with my brother. Finally, he go over and talk to my brother. Then he come back to me, and the officer looking at me, I'm looking at him, we looking at each other. And the officer say, well, he seems like he's all right to me. He said he wanted to walk home, so I'm going to let him walk home. I said, excuse me, sir, what you just say? He said, well, he seemed like he's all right to me. He said he was able to walk home. He said he looked like he's walking. He said, I'm going to let him walk home. I said, I just called y'all and said, my brother clearly you can smell beer on his breath, on his clothes. Right or wrong, sir? He said, yeah, I can smell a little bit. I said, I just told you he jumped out of a moving car. As you can see, the back door is still open. They did tell you that, right? He said, yeah. I said, then, and I told you he's been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I said, I told you that, right? He said, yeah. He said, but he said, he seems like he's okay, like he can walk home. I said, hold that thought. I said, now I'm talking to this officer, and this officer, I just told this officer that my brother was intoxicated. Not only that, he just jumped out of a moving car. I told him that he has been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. And I said, this officer is telling, I said, if y'all can see the car right here, my brother just jumped out of the moving car. I said, and this officer is sitting here telling me that he's about to allow my brother to walk home, and we in the middle of the highway, and he telling me he getting ready to let him walk home. Hey, officer, didn't you just say you could smell beer on my brother as well? You said you could smell beer on his breath and on his clothes, correct? I said, you could, right? He said, you don't have to do that. I said, I do. I said, because evidently you ain't doing your job. He said, man, you don't have to. I said, oh yeah. I said, repeat what you just said to me, sir. Can you repeat that to the camera? I said, because you did just tell me all of that, right? He said, man, sir. He said, what do you want me to do? I said, you can call the ambulance out here. Call the ambulance, get him to the hospital. When he get him to the hospital, and once you put in your notes of what's going on, I said, they got psychiatrists at the hospital, don't they? Can get him evaluated at the hospital, right? He said, yeah, I believe so. They do something like that. They'll hold him until he's been psychologically evaluated. I said, well, call the ambulance then. And immediately, my boy called the ambulance. When he called the ambulance, they take my brother to the hospital. When they get him to the hospital, I call my mama and I call my sister. When I call my sister, if one of my moderators on here, somebody get him. When I call my sister, we all come to the hospital. We tell the doctors the same thing. Now they waiting for the psychiatrist to get there. When the psychiatrist got there, guess what they did? They did a psychological evaluation, and at that point, they said he wanted to get it. They asked him if he wanted to get admitted. But it was still his choice. But at this point, my brother did tell them he wanted to get some help. So the problem was semi-solved. My brother told them that he wanted some help at that point. And guess what they did? He got on medication. He got sent, I forgot the name of the place. They sent him to some place. After he left the place, they sent him to somewhere like a halfway house, like a halfway house type of situation. They had him stabilized on his meds. They were trying to help him get a job. He had gained his weight back. He had started getting his face cut. I go down there, see him sometime, take some clothes. He was in this place. I'm finna get to that. He was in this place for like a year. So when that happened, it was like, that's what's up. He cool. But look, check this out. Okay, so boom. So after he was there for like a year, you know what I'm saying? I go get him sometime, you know what I'm saying? We'll go play basketball or whatnot, right? So after he was there for like a year, my brother got tired of being there. He got tired of not being around family, being around people he didn't know. He got tired of the program. And then he started talking about how he felt. At this point, I think my brother was bouncing back mentally. And he was starting to feel like the medication was zomatizing him. Like he just started feeling like the medication was slowing him down. So he started complaining about the medication. And me and the rest of the family was just excited that he was getting some help. So of course we didn't want him to stop taking the medication. So my brother was saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm really tired of taking the medication, bro. So finally, my brother leave this place after a year. I don't know nothing. Ain't nobody called and told me nothing about my brother had left this place. I get a call from my uncle. My uncle say, you know, your brother just left a little halfway house. I said, huh? I said, what you mean he left? He said, yeah. He said, the people just called and said he unpacked his stuff and somebody picked him up and he gone. I said, let me call you back. I hang up the phone. When I hang up the phone, I call my brother. When I get him on the phone, I'm talking to him. He talking to me. We talking back. We converse right. He tell me, listen. I'm almost done. He tell me that this girl we knew and grew up around told him he can come and stay with her. She lived in Clarksville, Tennessee at the time. I didn't agree with him going to stay with her. I didn't like the neighborhood that she lived in, and I didn't know what type of life she was living. I ain't saying that she was living out of control, but I didn't like the fact that you done told my brother he can come and live with you, and don't nobody in the family know, and he done left his place. So he done left his place, and he go to Clarksville, Tennessee, and when he almost get there, guess what? She already not answering her phone. Let me tell you how the enemy works. The enemy can see that you on your way to get some help. The enemy can see that you starting to better yourself. The enemy can see that you may start to come up out of your hole. And then the enemy will send somebody to you that look like a savior. Because this girl was dressed up as a savior. This girl was dressed up like she was a knight in shining armor and she was about to pull him out of a dark place. Let me tell you something about that enemy. The enemy don't want you to get no better. I promise you, he only wants you to get worse. He seen what was going on, and out of all people in the world, he made sure he got in contact with the one person who was not going to consider to call his family, was not going to consider how much he done pulled himself out of, was not going to consider his mindset was getting better, was not going to consider nothing, was going to agree with him. Listen to me. You got to be careful of the people who just listening to agree with you. Instead of telling you what's right, telling you what's wrong, telling you, nah, you ain't gonna do that. She was only listening to him from a friend. Listen, you too friendly. You too friendly. You not willing. Listen. The scriptures say, faithful are the wounds of a friend, deceitful are the kisses of the enemy. That was not a friend at the time. That was not a friend at the time. That was a deceitful kiss. You're not considerate. You didn't think about it. You ain't even in the right. You're not competent. You're not making competent decisions at this point. Why would you pull this man out of a halfway house to come and stay with you? You got 4 or 5 kids, not knocking anybody with 4 or 5 kids, but you already got a handful. Why would you do that? And then not only that, you on Section 8. So as soon as they find out that he ain't on the lease, what does that mean? He got to leave. So I finally get on the phone. I have a conversation with her. She say, I got him. But at this point, he already done left the place. It ain't nothing I can do but take her word for it. I got him. He get to this girl house. He ain't there 2 weeks. She told him he had to leave. She didn't call me. She didn't call none of the family. She didn't do nothing. Only thing she did is tell my brother he had to leave. As far as I know, she didn't even give him a ride back home. Here we are, 2 years later, and he back on the streets. Right now. He back on the streets right now. A year ago, I moved to Dallas. We done tried to help him. We done tried to help him a few times before I moved to Dallas. You know what I'm saying? My auntie, my uncle, we all done did whatever it is we could do. He just still chose to do what it is he wanted to do. So here it is a year later. Now that I'm in Dallas, I've been in Dallas a year. I don't get calls no more. If I do, it's a family member who just telling me, you know what I'm saying, they seen him or something. But I don't get calls no more. I got a message and then I'm finna roll. What people seem to not understand, the enemy is 10 times smarter than us. The enemy is 10 times craftier than any manipulation tactic we think we good at. The enemy is 10 times more advanced. Quit thinking you more advanced than the enemy. That's just like a dope boy who's selling dope the way he's selling dope for all of these years and thinking to himself, the police don't know what he's doing. The police advance, the dope game don't. That's the same thing in this right here. The enemy is way more advanced than any of us. Quit thinking you smarter. Quit thinking you can outthink the enemy. He know what you like. He know your vices. He know who to get to call you. He know who to get to text you. He know every single move to make to get you off of your square. As I watch my life, listen. As I watch my life flourish, start to grow, As I watch certain people come into my life, I always seem to see that enemy tapping on my shoulder, trying to get me to turn around and pay attention to something that has been breaking my heart. Something has been distracting me. Something has been taking my joy. Something has been destroying my peace. Something that's taken away from my creativity. Something that's making me slow down from getting my money. Something that's trying to take me off the assignment and the path that the Most High done put me on. And what I come to understand is whether it's my brother, whether it's my mama, whether it's my daddy, whether it's my cousin, whether it's an auntie, whether it's an uncle, whether it's a friend, whether it's an associate, whether it's an acquaintance, whether whatever it is or whoever it is, I've come to the place to say to myself, I did all I can do. That's what a lot of y'all need to say. I did everything. I did all I could do. Are you supposed to keep going? No. And that's the hardest thing to accept when it's a loved one. Plant, water, the Most High can get an increase. That's it. That's it. That don't mean I don't love him. That don't mean I don't care. That don't mean I don't think about him. That don't mean I don't pray for him. That means I've come to understand I cannot control the outcome of his story. I cannot write his chapters. I cannot write the conclusion at the end of his book. I can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. That's just what it is. So to everybody who keep asking me, why I ain't help my brother, what's going on with my brother, that's it. At some point, you have to realize you're not in control. You're just not. And the minute you think you're in control, you've been deceived. It's the enemy distracting you. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple, man. Hey, but yeah, that's the story. I don't know if you ain't already following me, hit the follow button. If you ain't already following me, hit the follow button. And if you ain't got my books, listen to me. I got both books on sale. And to anybody who got my book, that's me and my brother right here. That's me. That's my brother. That's my brother right here in the go-car. Let me see. That's my brother on this picture right here in the white. This is when he had all the money right here. This me, my brother, and my sister right here. My sister Brittany, she just graduated last weekend. I think it's one more on her. Yeah. And then this me in the middle, and that's my brother right here. To anybody who got the book, that's me and my brother. Oh, here go a picture. Here go a picture right here. This is when my brother was in the halfway house right here. He was starting to look a little better. If you got this book, that's me and my brother right here. I had actually went and seen him at the halfway house right here. That's me and my brother. But yeah, man. If you ain't already got the book, go to my website. My website is jtb3.org. jtb3.org. Yeah, my third book is almost done. I'm probably it ain't my third book, it'll actually be my sixth. It'll be book number 6. I already got 5. It'll be book number 6, but my other book probably gonna be done today. But everybody have a blessed day, man. Listen, hey, y'all do me a favor too. Y'all know I'm trying to raise some money to do my series, you know what I'm saying? I'm at a pretty decent amount, you know what I'm saying? I'm still shopping around to find somebody. I done found a few people, but every time I find somebody else. If you enjoyed the word that I gave today, cash out me $1. Cash out me $1 to OK So Boom 1. Somebody put my Cash App tag in there. OK So Boom 1. And if you ain't already following me, hit the follow button. Hit the follow button if you ain't already following me. If you ain't got the book, go get the book. jtb3.org. I got a 2-for-1. I got a 2-for-1 sale going on. You can get both books for $35. My website is jtb3.org. If you go to my TikTok profile page, my link to my website, my link to everything is on my TikTok profile page. You can get the link to everything. My Instagram, my YouTube, my Snapchat, my website, my Facebook. You can get the link to everything if you go. I'm gonna get back on live tonight, but I'm gonna be on my YouTube. I'm probably finna quit going live on TikTok and go live on my Instagram. Diva 19651. If you catch me on live tonight, we could do the question. But I gotta run somewhere and do something. Yeah, I can ship to prisons too. If you got loved ones in prison, I can ship the book to prison. Just put their information when you order the book, and I'll get my publisher to send it, and they'll get the book. I'll send it from the manufacturer. But yeah, hey, y'all be blessed. One, love.